A conventional wood stove is a metal box with a chimney. The fire goes in the box and the heat is extracted immediately. The temperature of the fire is usually about 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The smoke goes up the chimney due to a thermosiphon. Over time, people learned that creosote would build up in the chimney and cause chimney fires, which could burn down the whole house. The solution was to insulate the chimney, holding a lot of heat in the chimney. When you have a hot fire in the stove, it would often get hot enough in the chimney to burn out the creosote, thus keeping the house safe. The downside is that a lot of heat ends up going out the chimney. So, if you want to keep the heat in your house, you have to burn the creosote earlier. Instead of insulating the chimney, let's insulate the firebox. This pushes the fire temperatures to over 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, which will not only combust all the creosote, but all the smoke too. Now our exhaust is typically just steam and CO2. Since there's no danger of a creosote fire, we can extract a lot more heat before the exhaust goes outside. Over the years, we optimized the design. We found we didn't need nearly as much wood, so the burning area became much smaller. We added a stubby chimney inside the system to create a thermosiphon so we could push the heat wherever we wanted. We used a large mass to extract a lot of the heat. A large enough mass would slowly release heat for several days. We came up with a lot of different ideas for pretty. And today, most installations will heat a home with 1/10 the wood, produce 1/100th of the smoke, and people wake up in the morning to a warm house. Safer, cheaper, easier, and more luxuriant. If you like this sort of thing, come on out to the forums at permies.com, where we talk about rocket mass heaters, homesteading, and permaculture all the time.
This is the hugelkultur boxes that we currently use on our farm to do year-round growing. In the spring and summer, we use that fencing on the top for runner vegetables like green beans and cucumbers. In the fall and winter, we put plastic over it when there's a hard freeze or if it's going to be cold for several days to help protect the plants from frost. We've been very effective in growing year-round with these beds. They are filled initially on the bottom 24 to 30 inches with leaves and yard debris, and then we just put some wood chips and about 6 to 8 inches of dirt in on top of it, and then allow the leaves and branches to decompose. After about 2 years of use, we have about 20 to 24 inches of soil in each of these raised beds.
Hugelkultur is wood buried in soil. As the years pass, the wood rots and acts like a sponge, becoming a source of water and nutrients for plants. Hugelkultur can be built by hand or with machinery. Hugelkultur works on urban lots and large acreage. Smaller hugelkultur beds can reduce irrigation needs.
We watered it once.
And larger hugelkultur beds can eliminate irrigation needs.
This area has not been irrigated at all.
Here is nearly a kilometer of hugelkultur beds that were built and planted in early May of 2012. And this video is taken just a few months later in mid-September. There was zero irrigation. Once these hugelkultur beds get to be about 3 years old, the plant growth will probably be 5 times greater.
Like we always do. 'Cause you're one damn bright star, more grand than the cat.
Take a careful look at the contrast between the lush greenness of the unirrigated hugelkultur and the brown, dormant, unirrigated hillside in the background.
You know, it's safe to say that the plants that haven't gone through any of this irrigation are still extremely vital. And even in the hot time of this year, when you look at all the properties around and their barley fields and even some of the alfalfa fields are brown, this area has been vital and green throughout all of the summer.
The recipe is wood and brush covered with soil. Immediately plant seeds. A bit of mulch helps. Here, straw is pinned to a hugelkultur bed with a network of branches.
These are nails that we created just with the shape of the branches. And this side is just about 5 or 6 inches, but we cut them so that it's about 2 or 3 feet, as much as we could, on that other length, the other length there, and you hammer it in and take these other branches and support and hold.
More grand than the canyon, my river of mercy, and I swear.
Depending on which aspect the hugelkultur is facing, it elicits different qualities in the different kinds of plants that grow. And for the plants that grow on the north side, I guess a few examples are the radishes, the peas, the lettuces, the carrots. They're particularly sweet. And on the things that grow on the southwest or the south side, they have a lot more of a bite to them. In lettuce, that bite is bitterness. In mustards, it's hotness. And zucchinis are another great example. On the north side, they're extremely tender and sweet, but on the south side, I would describe them as mealy and almost protein-like.
If you like this sort of thing, come on out to the forums at permies.com, where we talk about hugelkultur, homesteading, and permaculture all the time.